Okay, so joining me this evening, our guest is Martin Costello once again. Hello, Martin. How are we? All right?
Hi, David. I love that corner sofa you got there and that beautiful flag in the background. You still owe me a beer. You'll have to invite me around sometime for one. I can see myself sprawled out on that.
Yeah, funny because it's just an image for the background, isn't it? But um, I have actually got a sofa just like that, but in black.
Hmm.
So yeah. How did we get on then? So last time we spoke, you were standing in your local elections in Swindon, and you were turning the local elections into a referendum on the COVID restrictions and lockdowns and whatnot. So you had 20 candidates standing in the 20 positions, all the 20 different wards. How did it go?
Well, it was we was quite astonished actually. The main reason why we put a full slate of candidates up was to get our message out, to give people a chance to come out and vote against the lockdown restrictions. And we got our message out into the local media, etc. But yeah, we were quite overwhelmed. We collated over 2,000 votes in Swindon between us, which
Wow.
was astonishing. We put all this together 6 weeks, and we hit that target, which we was never expecting. Um, Now the turnout actually there was quite an interesting thing there because the turnout slightly increased between about 3 and 5%, and that exactly correlated with the votes that we were getting. So we managed to get people out and vote, and what's really comforting is there's a lot of people, 2,000 over 2,000 people that feel the same way as us. So we were absolutely blown away by it, to be honest, quite astonished.
Yeah, that's really good, and that's 2,000 votes that the mainstream parties won't get, and in fact, it is a large number to get. So they will be looking at that and thinking, "Wow, that'll be concerning for them to say the least." And so, unfortunately, he wasn't lucky enough to get anybody elected, um, as we know. But there are now a couple of positions. You were telling me on the phone a couple of days ago that there are a couple of positions now that have come back up to light. So just tell us about those. So we've got the police and crimes commissioner and another local council ward. Is that correct?
That is correct. I didn't realise, but there was already an independent councillor actually in the in Swindon Borough Council where they'd thrown the towel in because they were sick of being in the Tory party. And this lady, who's clearly got principles and morals, she decided just to resign completely. So there's now a by-election in one place. But I'll tell you what I noticed throughout this campaign, I have never ever seen the Tories throw so much money at this. We literally had like 5 or 6 like glossy leaflets, big leaflets, and even on election day there was leaflets, and they were pumping out stuff on social media. And basically, we didn't have, excuse my language, a pot to piss in, but they threw so much money at this. So they must have been scared. And like I said, the turnout was absolutely appalling. And when you think the councillors that did get elected probably only had about 15% of the electorate at the maximum, just goes to show the voter apathy. So that is no way an endorsement, in my view. But yeah, we recently had an interesting issue in Wiltshire. It turns out the crime commissioner for the Tory party has been disqualified because he had a drink driving conviction that's just come to light for whatever reason.
They
So
didn't declare it.
it sounds that way. I mean, come on. I think, yeah, you can trust a Tory, surely. But it was quite an astonishing tale, actually, because now, because of this happening, he's had to be pulled. It's going to cost 1.2 million to rerun this election, that the taxpayers got to foot the bill for because it's Tory incompetence. But one very very heartwarming thing actually was the independent candidate. After the count, he come third out of I think 6 candidates, which was incredible. So
Interesting.
there are people out there who do have a brain and they do actually read manifestos. The Tories spent £97,000 on that campaign, which has gone down the toilet already. But they've got buckets of cash for their wealthy donors. This is what we're up against. This is not democracy.
Mm.
It's again the wealthy just buy power. It's
So,
sickening.
Martin, tell me, what's the plan moving forward? So, what we're going to do? Have you got another independent candidate to restand in that ward, and
We
have you got somebody to stand as a police and
we
crime
have
commissioner? Or
well. interestingly, the candidate stood there, done very well in that ward, and they are prepared to stand again in the event of this by-election.
Hmm.
But we've had since the elections last week, we've had people actually contact us wanting to donate money to us for our next campaign next year. Because in Swindon, we've got local elections again in 2022. We tend to
Okay.
have them every year. It's a bit different in Swindon, and we've got people coming to us already wanting to help, calling us a breath of fresh air, and wanted to give us money to try and take on the financial might of the Tory party, because we can't compete otherwise. We don't get the media coverage or anything like that. All the other candidates are desperate to stand again, and we've got other people wanting to apply, so we might have to go through more of a stricter vetting process next time. So it's onwards and upwards.
That's true.
We've achieved more than we set out to do, so we're absolutely blown away by it. And now, straight after the local elections, they're talking about more lockdowns again. I think people know that they've been played like a fiddle, and there's a lot of voter regret there because we can get them some very kind messages. But I promise Swindon, if we have to, we'll be back again next year. If there's any formal lockdown or anything, we'll be back.
Yeah, well, do you know what? I think that's where it's very, very encouraging that people are contacting you and and willing to contribute towards your campaign and stuff like that. Because yourself, you really do need the money, to really to pay for advertisement and marketing and whatnot. So what is the story there? Because now I've just literally, excuse me, my arrogance. I was just an email just popped up just then as we were talking, and that was actually an email from a friend of mine who's stag do's in Mallorca, and we booked to go, and I said, it's a bad idea. Just find somewhere in the UK because these lockdowns. And in fact, it's an email from the company. I haven't read it all, just a quick browse there, and it's saying that we don't think you should book a holiday. And I think they're offering me a refund. I'll have to read it in a bit. So it looks like that was booked for September. So
Yeah.
we don't really see the announcement. So people, they take it with a pinch of salt and they think, oh well, I won't vote for the independent candidate who's standing on anti-COVID restrictions because they're lifting them all now. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, they're not really, are they? So Martin, so
David,
what's the deal? You've got someone standing there, have you? And what about police and crimes commissioner? Have you got someone standing for that, or are you just gonna let the
we're in
independent
talks for that
candidate
at the
there?
moment. But it's interesting you talk about, again, we talk about that carrot being dangled in front of people. Do you remember they said, oh, have the jab, you can go on the holiday this year? Look at those mugs that had the jab, and that's not happening.
Yeah.
The council now are putting out tenders for the next 2 years for COVID marshals. Yeah, that tells you everything you need to know. This is not going away anytime soon. And all those people have been had again. And when this come out, what they'll do, we'll have a slight glimpse of freedom over the next few weeks, like to the 21st, and then it'll be locked down again because the next variant's coming out. They're already ramping up the Indian variant. I mean, I don't know how they know if it's an Indian variant or what, but very strange. But you see what they're doing all the time, though, and they're even talking about this big swarm of mosquitoes coming over. You can see at the Daily Mail they're talking about it. You carry the virus. It's just fear, fear, fear all the time. And I'll tell you what, there won't be any holidays going forward. We're basically held hostage in this country now, and people need to wake up to this. This ain't going to end until we say enough's enough. And the sooner we do it, the better, because we're going into some totalitarian hellhole at the moment, and it's got to stop.
I wonder if those mosquitoes are Bill Gates' genetically modified mosquitoes that they released in the US. I'll have to have a look at that.
Yes, he
That'd
did
be,
do that, didn't he?
it'd be very interesting to find out, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Martin, for your time. Really appreciate it. And, good luck and, keep us informed, keep us updated as how you get on. And let's hope more people come out and support you. And I think as, more and more comes to light, as to the way this is going to pan out, I think you'll be surprised. I think more people will actually start voting for you once their eyes are open to what's going on.
Well, we put the flag up and we got our message out, so we got people thinking. That's all we set out to do. Everything else was a bonus. But I mean, I'm very frightened the way things are going. I just hope we've woken enough people up in the meantime. because otherwise things will not improve, and we're looking at a very bleak future, to be quite honest.
Well, like I said, to take 2,000 votes from the main political parties is an achievement in itself. So you've done a fantastic job, you guys out there. So, well done. But yeah, we'll definitely catch up soon, and best of luck with your local elections and that. Take
Thank you
care.
very much, David.
See ya.